Hello there, friend. Let's take a moment to imagine something together. You've worked hard your whole life, raised a family, built a career, maybe even traveled a bit. Now you're finally in those golden years you've dreamed about. Time to relax, enjoy hobbies, or spoil the grandkids. But then, something nags at you. A little voice whispers, "What if the money runs out?" Sound familiar? You're not alone. So many of us over 65 worry about our savings, especially when the world feels unpredictable. But here's the good news. A few simple adjustments can protect what you've built and keep your freedom intact. Today, let's talk about 5 common money mistakes folks make after 65 and how to fix them. Now, these aren't just random tips. These are lessons I've learned from friends, family, and even my own stumbles. Because let's face it, retirement isn't the time for guesswork. It's the time to live confidently. So let's start with the first mistake. And trust me, this one's easy to overlook. Mistake number 1. Living like you've still got a regular paycheck. Now, I get it. For decades, you had money coming in every 2 weeks. It's natural to keep spending at the same pace. But retirement income is different. It's fixed. Social Security, pensions, maybe withdrawals from savings. And if you don't adjust your budget, that nest egg could crack faster than you think. Take my neighbors, Tom and Linda. They retired, sold their big house, and moved into a condo, but kept dining out 4 nights a week, taking luxury cruises, and buying new gadgets. Within 2 years, they were dipping into their emergency fund just to cover utilities. Here's the fix. Treat your savings like a slow drip, not a waterfall. Work with a financial advisor, or even a trusted family member, to map out a realistic monthly budget. Factor in the fun stuff, sure, but prioritize necessities. And remember, it's okay to say, let's try that cruise next year instead. Delayed gratification keeps your freedom alive longer. Now, let's talk about mistake number 2. Underestimating healthcare costs. Oh, this one's sneaky. Medicare's a lifesaver, but it doesn't cover everything. Think dental work, hearing aids, or long-term care. And those bills add up fast. My friend Rita learned this the hard way. She'd saved diligently but didn't plan for her husband's Parkinson's diagnosis. Suddenly, they needed in-home care, specialized therapies. And their savings took a hit they never saw coming. So, what can you do? Prepare for the unexpected. Look into supplemental insurance or a health savings account. If you're over 65, you might still qualify for an HSA if you're working part-time. And don't shy away from tough conversations with your family. Planning for what-ifs isn't pessimistic. It's powerful. And here's mistake number 3, holding on to risky investments. Now, I'm not saying you should stash all your money under the mattress. But after 65, your goal shifts from growing wealth to protecting it. Think of it like this. When you were 40, you could ride out a stock market dip. Time was on your side. But now, a big loss could take years to recover from. Years you might not want to wait. A gentleman I met at the library, Frank, had 80% of his savings in tech stocks. When the market dipped last year, he panicked and sold at a loss, which only made things worse. The solution: simplify and safeguard. Work with an advisor to shift towards stable, income-focused investments, bonds, dividend stocks, annuities. And don't forget CDs or high-yield savings accounts for easy access. Your portfolio should match your life: steady, secure, and stress-free. Now, these first 3 mistakes, overspending, underestimating health costs, and risky investments, they're all connected. They stem from habits that worked before retirement but need tweaking now. And the beautiful thing? You can start fixing them today. Maybe you're thinking, but where do I even begin? That's exactly what we'll explore next. Because the final 2 mistakes, they're just as important, and just as fixable. So stay with me, friend. We're in this together. You know, one of the joys of getting older is having a lifetime of memories to look back on. Like this photo of my parents on their 50th anniversary. But here's something I wish they'd done sooner: talked openly about their wishes, not just for their money, but for their legacy. Which brings me to mistake number 4. Neglecting your legal paperwork. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, oh, that's for wealthy folks with mansions and stock portfolios. But let me tell you, estate planning isn't about how much you have. It's about making sure your wishes are honored, and your family isn't left guessing, or fighting, when you're gone. Take my cousin Martha. Her husband, Joe, passed suddenly last year. They'd been married 43 years, but Joe never updated his will from before they met. His old documents left everything to a sibling he hadn't spoken to in decades. Martha spent months in probate court, grieving and battling legal fees. Heartbreaking, right? Here's the fix. Make it official, and keep it updated. Start with the basics: a will, a living will, and power of attorney. If you've got grandchildren or a favorite charity you'd like to support, mention that too. And don't forget to review these papers every few years, or after big life changes, like a move or a new grandbaby. A good estate attorney can guide you, or check out low-cost online services if your situation's straightforward. The goal: peace of mind, for you and your loved ones. Now let's tackle the 5th mistake, and this one makes my blood boil because it preys on trust. I'm talking about falling for scams or financial exploitation. Last month, a dear friend of mine, sharp as a tack, still runs her book club, almost wired $10,000 to a scammer posing as her grandson. "Grandma, I'm in jail. Please don't tell Mom." Sound familiar? These crooks are good. They know how to pressure, flatter, or frighten us into handing over cash. But here's the truth: you're not naive if you get tricked. These con artists practice full-time. The key is to build a few simple habits. First, slow down. If someone demands money urgently, whether it's the IRS, a lawyer, or a grandkid, hang up and call back on a verified number. Second, share with someone you trust. My rule: no financial decisions get made without talking to my daughter first. And third, protect your information. Shred old bills, use strong passwords, and never give out your social security number over the phone. You've earned the right to feel safe. Don't let anyone steal that from you. Now, I know these last 2 topics, legal plans and scams, might feel heavy, but think of them like a sturdy umbrella. You hope you won't need it, but when the storm hits, you'll be glad it's there. The beauty is, none of this has to be done alone. Enlist a niece, a longtime friend, or a professional advisor to help you sort through the details. And remember, every small step you take, updating a beneficiary form, talking to your sister about your wishes, is a gift to your future self. You've spent decades building a life rich in love and experiences. Protecting it isn't just practical. It's profound. So let's keep that momentum going. Because the final piece of this puzzle isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about embracing the confidence that comes from knowing you're prepared. You know, gardening's taught me a lot about life. You plant seeds, nurture them, and protect them from weeds. But even the sturdiest plants need a little care as seasons change. And that's exactly where we are, friend. We've talked about the weeds, those money mistakes that can creep into our golden years. But now, it's time to focus on the bloom. Let's take a walk together. They begin strolling down a garden path. Think back to Tom and Linda, who learned to budget like their savings were a precious harvest. Or Rita, who turned fear into preparation by facing healthcare's unknowns. And Frank, who swapped risky bets for steady growth. Like a gardener choosing sturdy perennials over flashy flowers that wilt overnight. Then there's Martha, who found peace by locking her wishes safely in writing. And my book club friend, who now greets every urgent call with a chuckle and a "let me check with my daughter." These aren't just stories, they're proof. Proof that a little tending today means more freedom tomorrow. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. Change can feel daunting. Maybe you're staring at a stack of paperwork, or wondering how to even start that money talk with your family. But here's what I've learned. Clarity is kindness. Kindness to yourself, and to the people you love. So, let's break it down. Pick one thing this week. Just one. Call an advisor to review your investments. Schedule a coffee chat with your son to discuss your will. Or spend an hour shredding old documents. Make it a game. Crank up the radio, dance while you destroy those credit card offers. Small steps, friend. They add up. And if you're ever stuck, remember this. You've already survived decades of curveballs, career shifts, raising kids, inflation in the 80s. You're built for this. Wisdom's your superpower. This isn't about fear. It's about freedom. The freedom to spoil your grandkids without guilt. To book that trip to see the autumn leaves in Vermont. To sleep soundly, knowing you've shielded what matters most. So, I'll leave you with this. Share your wins in the comments. Did you update your will? Have a laugh with a scammer? We're all in this garden together. Let's learn from each other. And if this video helped, pass it along. Someone in your circle might need these tools too. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It's how we grow this community of savvy golden year gardeners. And remember, no matter your age, it's never too late to plant seeds for a brighter tomorrow. Here's to your freedom, your peace of mind, and the joy of blooming right where you're planted. Thanks for walking with me today.